So this is our 16th lecture. In this lecture, last time we have discussed IS curve under Mundell-Fleming model. IS curve under Mundell-Fleming model explains the relationship between exchange rate and outputs. That is the point, and income. The same thing. Exchange rate and output relationship, exchange rates and output negative relationship is presented by IS curve. It's presented by IS curve framework. Why it is negatively sloped? The reason is that as exchange rate decreases, decrease exchange rate mean lower purchasing power of local currency, like Pak rupees, lower purchasing power of Pak rupees compared to dollar, then US can buy more Pakistani products. Then export will increase, imports decrease because exports are cheaper and imports are expensive. Then exports are cheaper and imports are expensive, then export will increase and imports will decrease. Finally, net exports, that is export minus export. जब एक्सपोर्ट वाला पार्ट इंक्रीज करेगा जो पॉजिटिव है, देन नेट एक्सपोर्ट आपकी बढ़ेगी. When your net export increases, you can see here net export is a function of exchange rate. When this part increases, then output increases. Therefore, it is negatively sloped IS curve. So this is the negatively sloped IS curve. It explains the relationship between exchange rate and output in small open economy. Well, the second is IS curve in case of small open economy explains the relationship between exchange rate and output. Explains the relationship between exchange rate and output. Second, it explains the IS curve is the combination of different points of different combination of exchange rate and output in the goods market equilibrium. IS curve shows goods market equilibrium with the combination of exchange rate and output points. Ji beta, this one we have done already in the last class. Now we are going to the LM curve. In LM curve framework, we see that apparently directly money has no relationship with exchange rate. Money has direct relationship between interest rates. But LM curve is here LM curve is over here. Can you see? LM curve is over here. Do you find any exchange rate in this equation? No. So here, like in case of the important point in the previous slide, in case of IS curve, you people see that net export is a function of exchange rate. Then output is a function of net export. So here, LM curve, money supply equal to money demand. In the words, money is a function of interest rate and output. Here we assume interest rate is given, that is our tariff. We say interest rate is given over here. Okay. When interest rate given no exchange rate in this equation, then LM curve will be vertical. LM curve will be vertical. You remember LM curve, we derive LM curve with the intersection of money supply and money demand. But here you don't find exchange rates. Finally, LM curve shows the relationship between interest in the closed economy, interest rates and outputs. But here interest rate is changed with exchange rates. Interest rate is replaced with the exchange rate in the Mundell-Fleming model. And we find no exchange rate in the equation. So therefore, it has no relationship. So it, at any level of output, money supply equal to money demand. One thing please again, only one level of output, money supply equal to money demand regardless of exchange rate. का कोई रिलेशन, मनी सप्लाई का कर्व भी वही है बेटा, मनी डिमांड का कर्व भी वही है, उसका एक्सचेंज रेट के साथ कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. एलएम कर्व आपका वर्टिकल इन केस ऑफ Mundell-Fleming model. So here we assume interest rate is given, no change. LM curve is vertical because given interest rate, there is only one value of y. You can see here one value of y. That equates money supply equal to money demand. Money supply curve भी ऐसा है, money demand curve भी ऐसा है. Then LM curve भी आपका vertical होगा because money supply and money demand has no relation with exchange rate directly. Okay. So money demand equal to money demand regardless of exchange rate. That is the LM curve. In this case, you put here exchange rates. You please keep in your mind. And here is outputs. But in case of small open economy, interest rate is given, then money has no relation with the exchange rates. Then there is only one output level where money supply equal to money demand. So these are the points, combination of points. मनी सप्लाई का भी वही है, मनी डिमांड का भी वही है, LM कर्व भी आपका वर्टिकल होगा. This is a vertical slope LM curve. So this is very simple explanation. Now we are going through the next points. That is very interesting, equilibrium in the Mundell-Fleming model, which one we discuss in the beginning of the chapter. In the first slide, we will discuss in this chapter the first one of our task was equilibrium in Mundell-Fleming model. We was to discuss. So now we are going to discuss. Mundell-Fleming model explain the relationship between exchange rates. In other words, simple one. That is better. Mundell-Fleming model explain the equilibrium exchange rate and equilibrium level of output. You please see here. Mundell-Fleming model explain the equilibrium exchange rate and equilibrium level of income, which one we obtain with the intersection of IS curve and M curve. That is achieved, this equilibrium is achieved in both goods market and money market. At this point, both markets are in equilibrium. Money market is in equilibrium and goods market is in equilibrium. When both markets are in equilibrium, then this is equilibrium was presented by Mundell-Fleming model. Again, first, this is the IS equation, aggregate supply equal to aggregate demand, where output is a function of these factors. Here, money is a function of interest rate and output. Here, no exchange rates. Therefore, LM curve is vertical because at any level of income, money supply equal to money demand, regardless of exchange rates. Both curves intersect at this point and we get point E, that is the equilibrium point in both goods market and equilibrium point. This point is hold in both markets. ये point दोनों curve में combine है. So this point shows equilibrium in both goods market and equilibrium market. So this exchange rate cause is said equilibrium exchange rate, and this output is called equilibrium level of income. Equilibrium level of income. So this is the point. Which one was the purpose of our first lecture? We have to discuss the equilibrium. We have discussed the equilibrium in the Mundell-Fleming model. Done. Now, we are going to explain Mundell-Fleming model under two conditions. You know, in Mundell-Fleming model, you on the vertical axis is exchange rates, which one I have discussed in the last lecture. Exchange rate vertical axis पे है और income किस axis पे है? Horizontal axis. Income is same. Income में बेटा कोई type नहीं. But exchange rate here is exchange rate have two types. Exchange rate in the vertical axis has two types. First type is the floating exchange rate. The second type is fixed exchange rate. That is the point. Floating exchange rate and fixed exchange rates. Now we are going to define both exchange rates. The first one is the floating exchange rate. In the world economy, what is the floating exchange rate? Floating exchange rate is the level of exchange rate which is allowed to fluctuate in response to changing economic conditions. Simple words, floating exchange rate fluctuates in response to changing economic conditions. अगर इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन चेंज हो जाए, फ्लोटिंग एक्सचेंज रेट ऑटोमेटिकली चेंज होता रहता है. उस चेंज को हम स्टॉप नहीं कर सकते. ऑटोमेटिकली अगर कंट्री में कोरोना आ गया तो इसके साथ जो इफेक्ट होंगे उसकी वजह से भी एक्सचेंज रेट अप डाउन हो सकता है. बारिशें ज्यादा होगी, उसके साथ भी एक्सचेंज रेट अप डाउन हो सकता है ड्यू टू सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. करंटली Pak exchange rate with respect to US dollar is floating exchange rate. कभी पाक एक्सचेंज रेट क्या होता है $1 equal to 150 रुपीज, कभी होता है 160 रुपीज, कभी होता है 158 रुपीज, कभी होता है 162 रुपीज. So that is a floating exchange rate that fluctuates in response to changing economic conditions. Nobody can say this is a fixed exchange rate. This fluctuates. Economic condition, environment condition के मुताबिक ये change होता रहता है. The second one is the That is very simple one. Fixed exchange. Fixed exchange rate, very simple definition. Which one is fixed by central banks? Which one is fixed by central bank? Who trades domestic currency for foreign currency at a predetermined price. Fixed exchange rate is fixed by central bank, that is State Bank of Pakistan. That is fixed by State Bank of Pakistan, who trades exchange domestic currency for foreign currency at a predetermined price. Like central bank ये define कर दे कि अब पाकिस्तान डॉलर के साथ ट्रेड ऐसे करेगा कि $1 will be equal to 150 rupees. चाहे इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन कैसी भी हो जाए लेकिन एक्सचेंज रेट फ्लक्चुएट नहीं होगा. दैट इज द पॉलिसी ऑफ पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट. ओके, who is delivered to State Bank of Pakistan, who is reported by the State Bank of Pakistan. जो स्टेट बैंक बोल देगा वही फिक्स एक्सचेंज रेट. उसके बाद पूरा ईयर जब तक स्टेट बैंक उसको फिक्स रखेगा वो फिक्स रहेगा. लाइक $100 इक्वल टू 150 रुपीज. अब पूरा साल गुजर जाएगा, कभी भी एक्सचेंज रेट चेंज नहीं होगा. चाहे एक्सचेंज रेट, चाहे इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन कैसी भी हो जाए, एक्सचेंज रेट चेंज नहीं होगा. See the points. Now we are going to discuss the policy analysis. Policy analysis are very simple, not difficult. We can do easily, no problem. First one we will discuss how many types of policy. First one is monetary policy. Second one is the fiscal policy. First we will discuss fiscal policy. But what means fiscal policy? Fiscal policy has two components. Fiscal policy has two components. First one is government expenditure and taxes. So first type of policy is the expansionary fiscal policy. Second one is the tight fiscal policy, contractory fiscal policy. In expansionary fiscal policy, government increases its expenditure. या तो ये ऑप्शन होगा गवर्नमेंट अपने एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ा दे, या ऑप्शन होगा गवर्नमेंट टैक्सेस कम कर दे. गवर्नमेंट जब अपने एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ा देगी, इतनी गवर्नमेंट बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स लॉन्च करेगी. गवर्नमेंट पे मोटरवे बनाएगी, ब्रिज बनाएगी, प्लेन बनाएगी, रेलवे ट्रैक बचाएगी, ओके, हॉस्पिटल बनाएगी, बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट रन करेंगे. दैट इज काइंड ऑफ फिस्कल पॉलिसी. या गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगी, टैक्सेस रेट कम कर देगी. दोनों केसेस में क्या होगा, अगर गवर्नमेंट अपने एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ा देगी, बहुत सारे लोगों को रोजगार मिलेगा, लोगों की इनकम लेवल बढ़ेगा. दैट इज द पॉइंट ऑफ डिस्कशन. लोगों का इनकम लेवल बढ़ेगा. ओके, फर्स्ट वन इज लोगों का इनकम लेवल बढ़ेगा. द सेकंड वन इज अगर टैक्सेस कम हो जाएंगे फिर भी लोगों का इनकम लेवल बढ़ेगा. तो एक्सपेंशनरी मॉनेटरी केस में लोगों का इनकम लेवल बढ़ेगा. लोगों का इनकम लेवल क्या होगा, बढ़ेगा. दैट इज अ पॉइंट. एंड सेकंड टाइप ऑफ पॉलिसी कॉन्ट्रैक्टरी या टाइट फिस्कल पॉलिसी. In case of tight or contractory fiscal policy, government will reduce its expenditure. Yeah, government will increase taxes. In both cases, what will be happen? Income level will be reduced Income level will be reduced. Okay. That is the point. Now we are going to discuss in detail. Fiscal policy under floating exchange rate. We will take here first type of fiscal policy. That is the expansionary fiscal policy under floating exchange rate. Expansionary fiscal policy under floating exchange rate. That is we want to discuss. Okay. Okay. First one is same equations are here. IS equation and LM curve equation both are same. And the both colored, the first color is the blue color. Already we have done ISLM framework in the blue color. Please, abhi red color ko discuss nahi karna. No, we find here. This is the equilibrium point we have discussed already in the previous slide. This is the equilibrium exchange rate. This is the equilibrium level of income. Now the next point is okay. Now the first, as government increase expenditure, fiscal expansion mean expansionary fiscal policy. Fiscal expansion mean a fiscal expansion or a fiscal expansionary fiscal policy will increase output. How? As government increases expenditure, one part बढ़ेगा तो पूरी equation increase कर जाएगी, output level बढ़ जाएगा. Finally, IS curve will shift upward. अब गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर ऐसा फैक्टर है जो एक्सचेंज रेट नहीं, एक्सचेंज रेट में चेंज से मूवमेंट अलोंग द कर्व है, but due to change in government expenditures, IS curve will shift, not will be movement along the IS curve. You will shift IS curve shift with red color IS curve, IS2. The same thing is over here, exchange rate on the vertical axis and output income is on the horizontal axis. The first one is income level will be then at given level of exchange rate, please, as IS curve shift upward, then output level will increase at given exchange rate. Exchange rate में भी change नहीं आया. Output level will increase, that is Y2. Now, then Y2, when output level increase, then what happened to exchange rates? In that is the next step. When output increase, you can see here, जब आपका income level बढ़ता है, then you have money more, you have higher money demand. जब आपका ये income level बढ़ता है, money demand is a function of income. जब आपकी income बढ़ती है, definitely you are demanding more money. Automatically आपके पास ज़्यादा money demand आ जाती है. You can buy more items. जब आपके पास ज़्यादा पैसे आ जाएंगे, you will demand more money. Money demand, L is the money demand, is a function of Y. More money demand. जब money demand आप ज़्यादा करेंगे, then इन्वेस्टर विल बी इनकरेज टू प्रोड्यूस मोर। इन्वेस्टर को इनकरेज मिलेगी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करो, डिमांड बढ़ जाएगी। मनी डिमांड की वजह से प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड बढ़ जाती है। आपके पास पैसे ज्यादा आ जाए, प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड बढ़ जाए। प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड का बढ़ने का इफेक्ट क्या होता है? इन्वेस्टर प्रोडक्शन बढ़ा देता है। प्रोडक्शन कैसे बढ़ेगी? द इन्वेस्टर विल इंक्रीज इन्वेस्टमेंट। इन्वेस्टमेंट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रेट। जब इन्वेस्टर इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ाएगा, इन्वेस्टर कैपिटल डिमांड बढ़ाएगा, देन इंटरेस्ट रेट विल गो अप, विल गो अप। अब क्या होगा? लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगा एज कंपेयर टू ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट। जब लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ना शुरू होगा ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट के मुकाबले में, देन फॉरेनर भी प्रेफर करेंगे वो पाकिस्तान में कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे। They invest and they make financial investment in Pakistan banks, कि वहां पे उनको ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा। इन्वेस्टर क्योंकि अब इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाह रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में, ज्यादा से ज्यादा कैपिटल बाय करना चाहते हैं इंटरेस्ट रेट पे, देन क्या होगा? इन्वेस्टर पाकिस्तान में ज्यादा आएगा। जैसे ही डिमांड बढ़ेगी इन्वेस्टर की, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर की, फौरी तौर पर ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट भी बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगा लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट को देखते हुए, ताकि फॉरेन डिमांड को रोका जा सके। फिर दोबारा से लोकल इंटरेस्ट रेट विल बी इक्वल टू ग्लोबल इंटरेस्ट रेट। लेकिन जब फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर पाकिस्तानी बैंक में फाइनेंशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा, पाकिस्तानी फाइनेंशियल बैंक में डिपॉजिट करेगा इंटरेस्ट अर्न करने के लिए, डेफिनेटली they will the foreign investors will invest in commercial banks of Pakistan at higher interest rates. They will earn higher interest rates. Now, when they will make investment, they will demand more Pakistani money. They will make more Pakistan money. वो पाकिस्तान मनी की डिमांड करेंगे। क्यों डिमांड करेंगे? टू इन्वेस्ट इन पाकिस्तान ड्यू टू हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट। जब वो पाकिस्तान करेंसी की डिमांड बढ़ाएंगे, एज अ रिजल्ट उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? जब पाक करेंसी की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, पाकिस्तानी करेंसी एप्रिशिएट होगी। पाकिस्तानी करेंसी क्या होगी? एप्रिशिएट होगी, वैल्यूएबल होगी, एक्सचेंज रेट बढ़ेगा। एक्सचेंज रेट क्या होगा? जब पाकिस्तानी करेंसी एप्रिशिएट होगी, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? एप्रिसिएशन का इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? पहला इम्पैक्ट क्या? एप्रिसिएशन का, एक्सचेंज रेट बढ़ गया। आप इस पॉइंट से इस पॉइंट पे चले गए। सेकंड क्या हुआ? आउटपुट जो आपकी बड़ी थी Y2 पे थे, आप यहाँ पे इस पॉइंट पे थे, आप दोबारा Y1 पे चले गए। क्यों? एक्सचेंज रेट बढ़ने की वजह से आपकी एक्सपोर्ट्स कम हो जाती है, इंपोर्ट्स बढ़ जाती है। क्यों? आपकी एक्सपोर्ट महंगी हो जाती है, इंपोर्ट सस्ती हो जाती है। जब इंपोर्ट्स आपकी सस्ती हो जाएंगी, आपकी नेट एक्सपोर्ट्स कम हो जाएगी। जब नेट एक्सपोर्ट आपकी कम हो जाएंगी, देन आपका आउटपुट लेवल जो बढ़ा था वो वापस Y1 पे आ जाएगा। अब एक्सचेंज रेट इतना एप्रिशिएट होगा जिसके साथ आपकी आउटपुट दोबारा Y1 पे आ जाएगी। फाइनली, एंड a fiscal expansion or expansionary fiscal policy causes to increase exchange rate with no change in output. With no change in output. आउटपुट में एक्सपेंशनरी फिस्कल पॉलिसी की वजह से एक्सचेंज रेट बढ़ जाएगा, लेकिन आउटपुट में कोई चेंज नहीं होगी। दिस इज कॉल्ड fiscal policy under floating exchange rate we have done. Other things we will discuss later in class. In the next class, you please